sports lawyer Anna Ancilevich said that the decision of the Jamaican National Anti-Doping Panel to issue a warning in the form of a warning for an anti-doping rule violation by Jamaican swimmer Mackenzie Headley will be taken into account by the Court of Arbitration for Sport (CAS) in the course of considering the case of Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva. The case of the swimmer from Jamaica will be taken into account during the consideration of Valieva's case. In this case, of course, each case is considered individually. And when making a decision, the arbitrators take into account a huge number of factors. It is difficult to comment on this situation, since we do not see the rationale for the decision on the Jamaican swimmer, whether the source of the banned substance entering the body has been established. RIA Novosti quotes Ancilevich. In July, the Jamaica Observer reported that for 2 positive drug tests passed in 2022, Headley received just a warning. Headley was 15 years old at the time of the anti-doping rule violation, and was considered a protected person under World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA) code. Valieva's positive test became known on February 9, 2022. On July 11, the skater entered the new doping testing pool of the International Skating Union (ISU). Athletes included in this list are required to enter information about their whereabouts into the ADAMS control system in a timely manner. The doctor of the Russian national figure skating team at the Beijing Olympics, Filip Shvetsky, told where the version of the entry into the body of the Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva of a prohibited drug through her grandfather's medicine came from. He noted that this version was the first thing that came to mind at that moment. We talk with the Institute of Pharmacology. It takes from 24 to 72 hours to completely remove this dosage, nothing more. Therefore, yes, this is the first thing that could come to our mind. The task doctor quotes. Earlier it was reported that Shvetsky filed a lawsuit against German journalist Hejo Seppelt and the community of broadcasters ARD for the protection of honor, dignity and business reputation. Shvetsky worked as a doctor for the Russian national team at the Beijing Olympics, during which it became known about the positive doping test of Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva. Valieva's positive test became known on February 9, 2022. On July 11, the skater entered the new doping testing pool of the International Skating Union (ISU). Athletes included in this list are required to enter information about their whereabouts into the ADAMS control system in a timely manner. Valieva entered the new doping testing pool of the International Skating Union (ISU). As TASS informs with a link to ISU materials, 20 Russians entered the testing pools for the 2023-24 season. Last season there were 25 of them. The choreographer of the group Atari Tutbirds Alexei Zheleznyakov told how the situation at the Beijing Olympics in 2022 affected the figure skater Kamila Valieva. He said that the athlete was very worried, went into herself and closed herself off from the world. She was very worried, and for the first few months it was evident. She withdrew into herself, squeezed herself and became a different girl. But someone will break down from such a situation, and someone will go this way, chew and spit it out, which she did. She was released. RIA Novosti Sport quotes Zheleznyakov. He added that this situation made the girl grow up and become a different person. But nothing has changed in her performance. She began to work even harder and harder to catch up with that form. But it is very difficult, almost impossible. You have to remake your body in a different way, the choreographer added. After the team tournament of the 2022 Olympics, in which Valieva helped the Russian team win, it became known that the doping test of the figure skater on December 25, 2021, gave a positive result. The IOC announced the results of the competitions of the Beijing Games, with the participation of Valieva as preliminary, and the ceremony of awarding the winners of the Olympic team tournament was postponed until the investigation of the case was completed. Currently, the athlete's case is in cause. In January, it was reported that the ROC Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee found that Valieva was not guilty of an anti-doping rule violation. On June 22, it became known that the hearings on Valieva's case would be held on September 26-29. Hearings will be held at the CAS headquarters in Lausanne, Switzerland in a closed format. Based on the results, the CAS Commission will prepare a decision. The date of its announcement has not yet been announced. Honorary Vice President of the International Skating Union, ISU, Alexander Lakarnik, in a commentary for SE, spoke about the hearing in the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva in the Court of Arbitration for Sport (CAS). I hope for a fair consideration of the issue. I believe that the sports organ comes from objective things. Until now, he has shown himself quite objectively. But what will happen now, I don't know. Long time before consideration. There are many difficult questions. Why did this case last so long? Why time passed after the discovery of a positive sample? Lots of things. The whole story is strange. Lakarnik told SE. The Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, will not yet disclose the names of the 3 arbitrators who will consider the doping case of Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva. The arbitration panel has been formed. However, in order to protect the integrity of the proceedings, CAS will not disclose the names of the arbitrators for the time being. TASS quoted the CAS press service as saying, Olympic champion in figure skating Kamila Valieva spoke about her interaction with coaches. There is no such thing that I would drive up and say, I decided, I will skate this, said Valieva in the podcast of the First Channel Free program. No, I try to talk to them somehow. Sometimes there are arguments, but I think this is normal. They began to treat me more not as a small child who will not do his task, but simply as an athlete who already knows what to do to warm up, skate and arbitrary, something else. There is no such wild total control that was before. Make so many connections and so on. They began to understand more. I hope this is my feeling that I am also growing up and doing the right thing sometimes. You have 3 coaches. With whom is it easier for you to resolve the issue? A direct question needs to be resolved immediately with the Terry Georgievna, Tubberts. This is 100%. Well, with whom is it easier for you to communicate? Here with Daniel Markovich, Kokengos. I can tell him everything directly. Because he's younger. He communicates with us more. And you somehow treat him. I can't say that we treat him like a friend. No, after all, the subordination is observed. This is the coach. But it's just that at some moments it's interesting to talk with him on some topics. It's interesting to know his opinion. It is also very interesting to talk with the Terry Georgievna sometimes, which was not so possible before. There used to be trainings, but now you can still talk about various topics. She also talks about her experience, and she has a colossal experience in life, in figure skating. It's always interesting to listen. And with Sergei Viktorovich Dudikov, we communicate less closely, but it is interesting to know his opinion. In general, I work with interesting people, and it is very pleasant to be with them. Well, sometimes there are moments, but it happens to everyone. Kamila Valieva answered the question about her idols in figure skating. The first time I got acquainted with figure skating was in 2014, when I saw Yulia Lipnitskaya on TV. The next day I went to training and said, I want to spin like Yulia Lipnitskaya. Then there was Evgenia Medvedeva and her simply fantastic programs, also Lena Zagitova. When I came to the group of Eteri Tubberts, I saw Sasha Trusova, Anya Shcherbakova and Alina Kostanaya. They started jumping quad jumps, which seemed out of bounds for women. When you are in this environment, you begin to reach out to them, jump as much, exercise as much. I watch a lot how Sasha trains. I caught Alina Zagitova. At the moment, it helps me a lot. SPORT 24 quotes Valieva.